What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming and game number 2 here between the Little One and GoOdy. This time we're on the map Metalopolis. We've got the Little One spawning as our purple Zerg player down over here in the 6 o'clock spawn location. And over in the 9 o'clock is GoOdy as the red Terran player. So yes, this is game 2 this time here on Metalopolis. GoOdy ended up winning last game very effectively with Hellion Harass. He had a Marine Hellion drop in the main, followed that up with Cloak Banshee Harass, which actually did a fair amount of economic damage. Then from that point forward, with Vikings going for a mech style play, using Vikings to just completely overwhelm and dominate the air, and that just proved to be way too much for the Little One to handle. He just did not have a proper response, ended up losing so many Overlords, and then finally, probably what was the nail in the coffin, some Blue Flame Hellion attacks on this expansion ended up killing off a hefty amount of workers. I think he ended up losing upwards of around 70 workers total in that game. And that's a very hard position to come back from, especially because in response, I think he only killed off around 20 to 30, which is still a significant amount, but not nearly as many. He ended up losing almost double the workers in that game. And losing that many workers, plus losing that many Vikings, what does that mean? Well, it means the Little One has to rebuild all of those things. Obviously, I mean, losing that many Overlords to Vikings. Obviously, when you lose a ton of Overlords, you need to rebuild those because, well, you need to not be below supply cap so you can actually physically build units. So that was a major issue. And then losing all those workers, he obviously needs to maintain economy, so that forces him to recreate drones. And doing both of those things, use up larva, and as a result, that larva cannot be used to make something else, attacking units, essentially. And yeah, again, those two things in conjunction with each other was just way too much for the Little One, and he ended up just being ran over, basically, by GoOdy. Because in return, too, GoOdy didn't really end up losing that many workers. I think he ended up losing around 20 to 30, which is still a lot, but nothing compared to the about 70 that the Little One lost. And then again, that whole Overlord issue. So anyways, there's enough dwelling on that. That's in the past. Now we are here again on game number 2, so hopefully the Little One can make some sort of a comeback. We've got the hatch first here from the Little One moving into spawning pool. Both of those about 50% of the way finished right now. Over here we will actually be seeing a little bit of extractor harass from the Little One, same as we saw last game. We'll be trying to steal this extractor. Probably expect him to go with that cancellation technique that we saw last game as well, and actually we can see that first. The first Marine making its way over there, and there we go, canceling it off and rebuilding it, and he's just going to keep doing this as long as humanly possible. Back over here, we will be seeing a little bit of bunker and Marine harass. Now we've got the Little One moving down with some drones to try to take care of this. The SCV is pretty low, and he needs to be careful because GoOdy does want to make sure that he can use that SCV, of course, to finish building that bunker. Never mind, he is all done with this harass, and will be pushing back, canceling off that bunker, moving back with his Marine, and moving back with that SCV as well. So no more harass here from GoOdy. Managed to delay a little bit of mining from the Little One, but besides that, not a whole heck of a lot happened. Let's take a look and see if anything was even killed. No units have been killed, but we do have some resources lost from both the canceled bunker and some canceled extractors here from the Little One. That's where his resource loss count is going to be coming from. And there we go, finally gets taken out. We'll be dropping out a refinery now. GoOdy, let's take a look at production tab. Does have a factory coming out. Reactor over here on that barracks. So we're going to expect a hot swap with that. Get some early game double Hellions. A little bit of map control that can be very effective here in Metalopolis. Zerglings will be fanning out right now, scouting the edge of the base. They're checking for scouting units and possible early expansions as well. Maybe even hidden tech. That's quite interesting that he actually checked in that upper left-hand location. But he is just moving around right now, checking all these bases. And he's actually going to be sitting back here with the Zerglings for the time being. A couple of Overlords fanning out right now in between the two bases, and I actually expect them to kind of form a line right now in this open area. That's a good method of scouting, just to spot if any drops or anything like that are coming. Not this early in the game, clearly, but sometime in the near future, we could expect some drops. It is certainly possible, and he may actually want to move on in also for some secondary scouting. But some Marines guarding the edge of the map will make that a wee bit difficult there for the Little One. Now we can see GoOdy is coming out with double factory, so right away moving up into mech play, and actually never mind, that was incorrect in my assumption of double Hellions. He is going straight up tank Hellion Marine early on, using that reactor to come out with double Marines, and actually Vikings, it looks like they were able to snipe out the Overlord that was over there, so down one Overlord right now, forced to recreate some more. That's the case for the Little One. Nice creep spread going on over here for the Little One. What does he have planned? Well, we can see a Roach Warren just about to pop. He hasn't researched metabolic boost, so he will just be focusing early on those roaches, and also wouldn't be too surprised if we saw layer tech come on through sometime soon. But what is he going to be doing? Is he going to be planning an early push? He's just coming out with 2 roaches, so I'm assuming the answer to that question is no. There's a third. Not expecting an early push, I really am not at all. And again, I would really like to see that layer come on through sometime soon. That'd be really nice too. A couple of spine crawlers here. First time early game defense for the little one. And here comes the push. Pretty much as expected. Siege Tank, Hellion, and Marine. Early game push from GoOdy, and he's just going to be sticking with that for the moment. No expansion yet. The Zergling realizing that. This should by itself tip off the little one to the fact that something like this is coming. But here we go. That creep spread going to provide him with ample time to see it. And here it is right now. GoOdy moving across the map with his push. How will the response be for the little one? He doesn't even have Speedlings in play. He has not researched Metabolic Boost, so he can only really respond effectively with these Roaches, Queens, and Spine Crawlers, and that's pretty much all he's got. And there's the tank finally sieging up. Here comes a second tank, and we should be seeing a third one that's just about to finish producing here. And GoOdy will be moving across with that, and this is actually a little bit scary right now for the little one. The little one's going to be taking some shell damage from those tanks. Now, he just needs to buy himself enough time to get out a few more Roaches. Needs to be careful about when and how he can actually pushes against this. We're going to have a couple Spine Crawlers actually being rerouted back there. Expect him to lift that one up and push back with it. There we go, and there it comes. A few more Roaches moving down. We're going to be seeing a couple drones move on up as well. Queen's pushing forward to help the engagement. First need to work his way through these Marine and Hellion numbers, and then finally getting up to those tanks. His army's just a little bit slow. 6 more Roaches coming out, but that tank line, nice defense with those Marines and Hellions. He was able to keep those tanks up for a very long time. Finally overwhelmed. We'll be counterattacking sometime very soon here. The little one should be pushing out. He ended up losing a bit, but at the same time, GoOdy lost everything there as well. So, unsuccessful attack. One of the primary things there that was really got to give kudos to the little one for is having such strong creep spread so early. His creep just completely overwhelmed that push, and he was able to take advantage of that extra speed to push up on that much more effectively. GoOdy preparing for that possible counterattack. Does have that tank sieged up. You can see how far that is going to be able to reach. Very, very nice indeed. A couple of Hellions there at the tower. We'll also see if a push does come here from the little one. The little one hopefully will drop at least another tumor right around here so that he doesn't end up losing all of this creep. It's starting to recede at the moment. You can see there it's actually going to just be pushing up in that angle, and he'll be pulled back all the way to there. So there we go, finally moving forward, dropping another tumor. At the same time, here comes an expansion for the little one. And let's take a look over here for GoOdy. What does he have planned? Well, just trying to defend himself for one, but then he also has a natural expansion that will be coming on through. Here comes an armory as well. Mech heavy style plate we'll be seeing here again from GoOdy, and this is a perfect example as well of a map that it can do fairly decent on. This map and the last map here, both Metalopolis and Antigua Shipyard. You know, Antigua feels a little bit bigger to me. I'm actually not sure of the exact dimensions, but I personally think that Antigua is a little bit larger than Metalopolis here. I think it's going to be easier for him to work with mech style play on this map, but you know what, he is quite a bit behind already due to that early failed push. So the little one does have a great opportunity, in addition to the fact that he's already working his way up into his third, and here come Infestors so early as well. Now these Roaches right now actually will do a fairly good job of delaying this expansion. Yes, we've got some tanks, 3 tanks in fact. I don't know what that one's doing. That one needs to get a little bit closer to the edge to help deal with these Roaches, because those Roaches will do very well against those Hellions and Marines. Tanks setting up on the low ground, you can see kind of staggering those tanks to try to defend them against any Roaches that may push forward. So if the Roaches try to push on this tank, they'll be getting hit by this one as well. That's the entire plan behind that. So nice defense there by GoOdy. Was able to defend his expansion and actually kept mining up. Not the easiest to push on either, because to actually get to the resource line, you have to work your way all the way over here. And again, as you can see with some stagger tanks, GoOdy quite easily able to defend himself against that. Back over here for the little one, working on saturation there at that third expansion. Finally coming out with those infestors. We've got Burrow research coming out, pathogen glands as well. Now he doesn't have any infestors yet. Probably, very likely, going to be waiting until that pathogen gland research is going to be finished to try to time it perfectly so that those infestors come out after that fact, so that they can take advantage of that extra energy there from those pathogen glands. It's not until they pop. It doesn't matter when the upgrade finishes, as long as it finishes before they come out. You don't have to necessarily start building those infestors after it finishes. Again, it just needs to kind of coincide with each other. So, in addition to that, what else do we have going on? Well, as you can see, it does look like we will be seeing some Overlord dropping again. This game will be much easier here for the little one, as they are in a close air distance spawn location. The Overlords don't have far to travel to be able to effectively be able to drop inside of the main of GoOdy. At the same time, a 4th expansion coming out here for the little one. We'll be seeing Vikings again from GoOdy, and obviously we expect that given how amazingly effective the Vikings were last game for him. And there we go. So does he have any infestors yet? No, and the pathogen glands actually have already finished right now. So no infestors at all, but pathogen glands have finished. A couple of roaches over here with some Overlords, few roaches still sitting over here. That expansion obviously still pretty comfortable over there. We'll be working to saturate that very soon, as soon as that does finish, of course. Finally coming out with some infestors, but we'll also be getting tunnel and claws there for his roaches. So lots and lots of upgrades coming out for the little one. Back over here inside of the main base of GoOdy. What does he have planned? Well, again, mech style play is the course of action here for him. At the moment, just 3 Vikings on the map. I'm really not doing a whole heck of a lot with them. We'll take a look at the units lost tab, and as we can see, they're about even. Ooh, a little supply cap there for the little one. I think these Vikings doing some damage. Ooh, look at that, 4 kills there. And again, Vikings, please, the little one, please do not lose to Vikings again this game. I'd be very, very sad. Get some anti-air, for the love of God. I don't even care if you just stagger spore crawlers everywhere. Do something to stop those Vikings from dominating your Overlords again, because that is very sad indeed. We do appear to have a push moving on over here. Roaches, Burrowed Roaches able to pull on the backside there, and this is actually not going to be too good for GoOdy. Forced to actually land the Vikings to help deal with this, so those Roaches able to do quite a bit of damage. We'll be burrowing a few. We're going to be losing those due to a scan, forced to uproot them and continue to move back, and there we go. Actually is able to get away because that mech army is so very slow. I would have really loved to see a few Overlords drop Speedlings in the main during that push. That would have actually been incredibly effective, but that did not end up happening. And here comes the counterattack right now. GoOdy making his way across the map with his mech army. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a scan very soon either, because he's got a lot of creep timbers here that he could take on. Nice fungal growth, allowing those roaches to push on up and able to do a bit of damage. Hopefully we get a couple more fungos as well. He does have the energy, and there we go. Actually, roach counterattack at the exact same time, moving in his natural expansion. This is pretty scary. He's going to want to set up a tank here on the high ground to help deal with this, and we'll have to see how much damage GoOdy's able to do moving in this direction. Still hasn't connected the creep over there. I really thought we were going to see a tumor that was going to be able to do that. Vikings now landing on the ground to try to help with this push. Roach is still over here doing so much damage, finally setting a tank up, but he ended up losing a bunch over there. Let's take a look. 35 SCVs killed so far this game for the little one. Here come some burrow roaches, and this is going to hurt really badly. We'll be unburrowing in just a moment. Infestors moving down. There we go. Roaches will be able to overwhelm this army right now, unburrowing right underneath, taking out the tanks, taking out the stores, and there you go. And look at that. These roaches over here still doing damage. GoOdy calling the GG. Much better game number 2 there for the little one, and unfortunately, GoOdy ended up losing this one. The little one teching up very hard early on, getting pathogen gland infestors, burrowed tunnel and claw roaches, as well as Overlord speed and drop. Now, although he didn't end up using the Overlords, he was able with all this tech to completely take GoOdy by surprise and end up winning the game as well. That in conjunction with a counter roach attack killing off a ton of SCVs pretty much took GoOdy out of the game and forced the GG. Alright, that was game number 2 here between GoOdy and the little one. Moving on to game 3 in just a moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.